Greetings, Patrick here, and it's time for another episode of Dollar Theater. Dollar Theater is an ongoing series created by my good friend Hobbs Horror, and it is when we find and watch movies that we've acquired for $1.25 or less. That's right. It can be you can find them thrifting, Dollar Tree, gifts. For me, I do it at the library. Anything that you can review has to be $1.25 or under, as we are also known as budget ballas. Um, so it's you know what? If you really look for bargains, you will find them. They are out there. You'll have to look a little bit, but yeah, $1.25 or under makes it a lot of fun looking. All right, so today's movie, we are going back to multi-pack mania, and I'm going back to a pretty steady multi-pack that I have been slowly getting through. I believe I got this from Mr. Bones, and this is called Horror Cinema Series, put out by Echo Bridge, and it includes 12 movies and over 14 hours of entertainment. Now, we've already gone through a few of these. We have actually reviewed, let's see, we reviewed uh, Black Dragons. We've also done Night of the Blood Beast. We've also done Monstrosity. Monstrosity was here on, I did that on 31 Days of Halloween. I did that one there. Dead Man Walk is also on here on Dollar Theater. But today's movie that we'll be talking about is from 1971, and it is called Lady Frankenstein. Lady Frankenstein. Also 1971. So this was written and directed by Mel Wells, and written by Edward De Lorenzo. It stars Rosalba Neri underneath the pseudonym Sarah Bay, Joseph Cotten, Mickey Hargitay. Mickey Hargitay, you might have heard that name before. He was Mr. Universe 1955. He also married James Mansfield, and he is the father of actress Marissa Hargitay, who stars on Law and Order SVU. And it also features actor Paul Muller. So the story is thus. So Baron Frankenstein is doing his experiments, as we all know. He is collecting. He's doing dealings with a gentleman named Lynch, who is a grave robber. Him and his small crew, and they get bodies for Baron Frankenstein, and as fresh as possible, of course. Dr. Frankenstein is aided by his good friend Dr. Marshall for these crazy experiments. Uh, um, well, during one night when they're doing these experiments, Dr. Frankenstein's daughter, Tanya, arrives. She has just completed her medical schooling, and she is now, I guess she is now considered her a surgeon. And she tells her dad that she wants to go, when she comes in, after she's being greeted by her father and his slightly mentally challenged son, helper Thomas. Um, uh, she sits down for dinner with Baron Frankenstein and Dr. Marshall, and says that she knows and has known for quite a while what they have been doing. They know that they've been doing experiments on human beings, and she wants a part of the action. Of course, the doctor's not really, he's not really enthused by that, of course, because him and Marshall are taking tremendous risk of going to jail, if not outright being lynched, if they found out that they've been stealing loved ones' bodies from the village for experimentations. So the next day, though, Frankenstein and Tanya and Marshall they watch execution of a bad guy. He gets hung, and so they're going like, well, man, maybe we need to get that guy. And they had to hang him from the well, because he was too big to hang from a regular, to hang. He was a big man. He's like 7 foot. and so they had to use a well to hang him. And so, but they're going like, well, that's our body. That's what we need to get. So they go ahead and, as they're looking at that, Captain Harris, who's played by Hargitay, he comes over and he knows something's up. He's nobody's fool. He knows. He just can't put it together. He knows that he has the pieces. He just has to assemble them together. But he's definitely all over Lynch. He knows about Lynch, what he's been doing. Uh, uh, so anyway, they recover the body, and they Dr. Frankenstein or Baron Frankenstein and Dr. Marshall recover the body, and they bring it back to life. At first, it didn't look like it was going to succeed, and they were a little bit sloppy. They had actually left. They had actually left the machine on, and so when it gets hits, the lightning disfigures the corpse, and it reanimates it, but it disfigures it horribly, and he's not too happy about that. Well, plus that he had been brain damaged, and Dr. Marshall had tried to tell him, "Don't do this. This is not the guy we want to bring back." But Baron Frankenstein is desperate. He knows that he knows she's right around the corner, but he doesn't listen to Marshall. And sure enough, though, but the Frankenstein monster awakens and he kills Baron Frankenstein, while Marshall is telling Tanya that they have succeeded in bringing back a corpse from death. But by the time they get over there, they find out that Baron Frankenstein has been killed. So this is not good. Tanya and Marshall tell the captain that hey, we had a burglar in here, a burglar in here, and but they didn't steal anything. and they have to be careful about telling them how big the corpse is, because Captain Harris mentions, well, gee, if you're talking about this guy being bigger than me, you're talking about someone who's 7 feet, and I only know of one person over 7 feet. That would be the one they hung. So instantly they go on like, well, that's what it looked like. So maybe it wasn't. So then Tanya's she starts showing off her personality, and we find out that she knows that Marshall's had a burning love for her all these years, and so she says, well, if you really love me, then I like to get, I like to figure out my father's secret. I like to complete his experiment. So what I want to do is I want to take your brain and transfer it into Thomas's body, because she's attracted to Thomas. So Marshall, he says, well, if you love me, you'll do this. So he goes ahead and Tanya seduces Thomas, and I have to say, it's sort of funny. So once again, we see maybe our first instance of necrophilia in movies. I don't know. I had to research that, but Thomas and Tanya have sex, and as they're having sex, Marshall kills him, and as he's dying, Tanya is still riding the pony, and in fact, she reaches nirvana while Thomas is dead. Might be cinema's first scene of necrophilia. I don't know. It was really weird and really surprising to see this in a movie, even from the 70s. It was strange. We'll talk about that in a minute. Meanwhile, the monster has been going around killing a lot of people. He's killing men and women, but he has a chance to kill a child after he kills their parents. But thank God he had enough sense not to kill the little boy, right? I'm going to kill your parents, make your life absolutely a living hell, but I'm not going to kill you. Yay, Frankenstein's monster. So Harris starts getting closer and closer, and the village is starting to get the idea that, hey, Frankenstein has been doing weird shit. We need to go ahead. We need to go and do that. And while they're doing that, that's what happens. Marshall is transferred into Thomas's body, and he wakes up and he finds out that he is superhumanly strong, like the other monster is. But he also finds out uh, um, that Tanya really doesn't care for Marshall. She just wanted the she just wanted a young stud for sex. So obviously Marshall's not too happy about that. Um, the monster comes back into the castle where Tanya and Tanya and Marshall team up and to stop the monster. And doing so, though, the villagers come in and they burst in, and Harris and Thomas's sister, they see the two in front of a fireplace having sex, um, and then suddenly it ends. Uh, so wow, what can I say about Lady Frankenstein? I guess the first thing I have to say, because it was got to be said, but this is very much like a Hammer type movie. Very gothicy, great sets, absolutely stunning leading lady. Uh, well, her name is Sarah Bay on here. Her real name was Italian actress Rosa Neri, Rosa Alba Neri, and she was stunning. Definitely, yeah, but not a nice person. Lovely to look at, but wouldn't want to touch it. And that really, to me, is really, that's what really makes this movie. She is fierce. She's independent. She wants what she gets. She's able to talk to a man in perfect health to commit murder. She is a femme fatale. Um, she's brutal. she, after he gives up his life, basically, she tells him, like, it's not really about you. It's about really that what you can do for me. Um, the creature, the effects in the movie are makeup effects in the movie are pretty crappy. Unlike anybody else, I actually enjoy the acting on in this. I thought they did a nice job, nice B level. This is 1971, so there is a ton of nudity in this movie. It seems like everybody in the village was out there having sex out in the open. Um, there's a scene that brings homage back to the original movie, where Frankenstein's monster threw a little girl in the water, not knowing that she could swim. They had a scene where the monster comes across a couple that's having sex in the open, and the girl's naked, and he grabs her and she faints, and he throws her in the water. I think that probably would have woke her up myself, but I guess it didn't, because later on they find out that she's dead. Um, yeah, I liked this movie. I thought it was different for sure. I definitely thought it was for different. The ending is typical '70s, even though this is only 1971. But this falls into the theme of 1970s movies, and that is there is no happy endings. In like 95% of 1970 movies. So you can guess what happens here. Uh, I thought it was well directed. American star Joseph Cotten, American actor Joseph Cotten. He is actually the lead. He's in the lead. He's the lead, but he's only in the movie for like the first half hour before his character is killed, Baron Frankenstein. And and yeah, he did a nice job while he was on screen. Um, the print itself is not the best. I will say that. This is from Echo Bridge, and this is one of those companies that just rips off the TV screen per se. It's the print, so it's not very clean at all. I mean, if someone took some time and cleaned it up, it probably would look a lot better. Um, and there's no ending credits or anything like that. So it looks like it got chopped off a little bit before. In fact, it says it ran for 99 minutes, whereas I think my copy only ran for 83. It says 99 on the official one, but I can't see 16 minutes being cut from this. But I can definitely see the last five or so minutes because the ending is so absolutely abrupt with no final credits. So this is what happens when you get multi-packs from companies like Echo Bridge. Um, they cut corners wherever they can, which is why they can sell their comps for so cheap. All right. Back to Rosalba Neri. I had never heard of the young lady, but she was a prolific actress. It is interesting to find out why she didn't come back. Uh, I don't know why she couldn't come back. And Lady Frankenstein is her best known movie. She is actually still with us as today. She's 86 years old, and she lives in Italy. She worked from 1958 to 1985, and this is probably her biggest film as far as English goes. I Other than I think she played Raoul Walsh, a pretty well-known director, played in Esther and the King, but so I was looking through her credits, and I really couldn't see anything else other than she tried to go from different genres. So in the late '60s, she was trying to do the spy thing. But this is the only the movie of renown that I have found of hers. I definitely would say that she was a step below maybe like someone like an Ingrid Pitt during the Hammer days. She was a good actress. Uh, I mean, take away the nudity part and don't concentrate on that. And she was a good actress. She gives a really good turn as Frankenstein, Lady Frankenstein in this film. But unfortunately, it didn't translate to any long term or well known success. Lady Frankenstein is considered a cult classic from 1971. All right, that is it for this edition of Dollar Theater. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think of Lady Frankenstein if you've seen it. Yeah, and tell us, drop us an actor or an actress that you think is really maybe they're best well known for one role, but you think that they're very talented and they should be a little bit more renowned. Someone like a Rosalba Neri. Drop one down in the comments down below. I'd like to see everybody drop a name that we should go check out their work. All right, so this is Dollar Theater and Multi-Pack Mania. Hopefully you like this one. This was a lot of fun bringing this one. All right, that's it for us. For me and the Cheetah,